Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last night, I had the honor of presenting the International Republican Institute's 2017 Freedom Award to great freedom fighters in my native homeland of Cuba, the ladies in white, las Damas de Blanco. Although my dear friend Berta Soler, of the ladies in white, was not able to be there. Why? Because the Cuban regime refused to allow her to leave the island. Well, we were lucky enough to have one of the organization's founding members, Blanca Reyes Castañón, with us accepting the award on the group's behalf. I've had the privilege of knowing both Blanca and Berta for so many years, and it's been an honor for me to be able to raise awareness about the brave and inspiring ladies in white, whether I do it here from the House floor or by hosting them here in our nation's capital or in my district in Miami, Florida. Each Sunday in Cuba, the ladies in white fight for their relatives and all political prisoners in Cuba, demonstrating peacefully as they walk to church. And yet each Sunday, Mr. Speaker, they are harassed, they are beaten, they are arrested by the regime's thugs. As a Cuban refugee myself, fleeing the island with my parents when I was only 8 years old, I've seen how the regime has morphed and evolved its methods of repression over the years. Its treatment of the ladies in white is emblematic of how it treats all political dissidents, with intimidation, with harassment, with arbitrary arrests, with short-term detentions, with denying them the ability to travel, by trying to bully dissidents into silence. Its attempts to disguise its tactics of repression, trying to fly under the radar so that outside eyes are fooled or placated or feel that they can simply look the other way. But we won't, Mr. Speaker, we won't look the other way. Despite all of the propaganda, despite all of the misguided policy over the past years, the reality of the regime's repression is only getting worse. And dissidents like the ladies in white are bearing the brunt of the regime's intimidation and violence. The regime is terrified of anyone who speaks for their God-given human rights in Cuba. It wants to project an image to the outside world that the situation in Cuba is improving. But we must not be fooled, Mr. Speaker. The regime will do whatever it takes to remain in power. That is its sole desire, to remain in power. We must be clear-eyed. We must be honest about what is really going on in Cuba. We must not be placated by the regime's lies or by those who repeat them. We must fight for the truth and show the Cuban people that they are not alone, that together we all stand in solidarity with them in the pursuit of freedom, in the pursuit of democracy, and the ability to practice their religion, to live without fear of arbitrary arrest, to live without fear of torture, and finally, one day, to be able to choose their own leaders. And we can start by supporting the faces of Cuba's future, the dissidents, the human rights champions, the defenders of freedom, like the brave women of the ladies in white. They represent the true Cuba. They are Cuba's future. And it was my honor to present them with the IRI's 2017 Freedom Award last night. Congratulations to las Damas de Blanco, the ladies in white. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.